simply braggadocious. Why don't we take advantage of this moment? And wherever you own, we own it.
Mama, I'm on the big screen. I took a big swing out of life. I'm doing big things in my life. I deserve 6 rings like a Mike. I've got no sleep. I remember when it was the nosebleeds. Now they captured the fashion from flow seats. I'm a whole king.
Are you ready? Okay, say no more. Are you ready? Okay, say no more.
She's a lotus and I'm the conductor of a magnum opus. Simply braggadocious. Why don't we take advantage of this moment? And wherever you own, we own it.
Ooh, it's trouble in paradise. So let's parachute where the air's nice. And let's risk it all on the paradise. But she just wanna make sure her hair's nice. That's fair, right? I just fell in love with a prima donna. The 2023 Madonna. I mean, your honor, I was minding my business until she gave me complete nirvana.
Are you ready? Okay, say no more. Are you ready? Okay, say no more.
She's a lotus and I'm the conductor of a magnum opus. Simply braggadocious. Why don't we take advantage of this moment? And wherever you own, we own it.
With Chesapeake Bay gleaming in the distance, we are inside M&T Bank Stadium near the Inner Harbor in Baltimore, Maryland. Today, it's week 3, and we've got a good one in store between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. It's the first weekend of autumn, and the NFL is in full swing as off we go on EA Sports. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
Here we go, here we go. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Stop.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Back to Mixon on second down. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off on a pretty decent gain.
Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. Now it's Burrow. Man open, that's Jamar Chase complete. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
On second down, here's Mixon. Still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Burrow on 3rd down. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Mixon with a first down carry. And he's brought down, but not before a really nice stiff arm to create a little space. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still.
Mixon hit it goes out, and it's picked up by the Ravens. And this one will be brought back to the 22.
Let's face it, everybody at the start of a game has a mental image of how they expect it to go, and I think that was going exactly as they scripted it offensively. Moving the ball well, seemingly in control, and that fumble, that's got to be a little bit deflating, don't you think?
Yep, foiled the whole plan there, turned the ball over. They'll get this to the 24, and it's second down.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defense in front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body.
Jackson hit, and he lost the football. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs?
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked by Logan Wilson. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, right? Because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
They'll give it to Mixon, and he takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Bengals. Joe Mixon, his third rushing touchdown of the year. And the Bengals are on the board first on the road here in Baltimore. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Jackson. That's complete to the fullback, Ricard. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore first down.
Good, sure hands there from a guy not accustomed to catching a whole lot of passes. But how about the way he was able to pull that one in and pick up good yardage?
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. And that'll be incomplete. The Ravens at 0-2 here to begin the season. And listen, they made their share of mistakes in these first 2 games, CD, but talking with them in the days leading up to this one, doesn't seem like they've lost any confidence.
I would agree with that, and what they told us was that they weren't planning on making any drastic changes. They didn't see the need to shake things up. They were going to continue to plow ahead. They thought they had the right guys on the team and in the locker room, but they do have to start winning some games.
On 3rd down, Jackson. And he's got his tight end. That's Andrews. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Second quarter now from Baltimore. It's the Ravens in possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Off the play fake, here's Jackson. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked out and incomplete.
Yeah, their back's up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10, Jackson. And now a fumble. The ball's out. And this is going to kick out of bounds. Boy, a fortunate bounce or two there. They'll keep possession back inside the 10-yard line. Second time he's fumbled in this game. Fortunate for him, this one goes out of bounds.
And the key for him now is how much equity have you built up with your coaching staff? How much equity have you built up with your team to continue to get opportunities? Fortunate that one went out of bounds, saved him from a turnover.
They try again with Montgomery. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play.
That is caught. It's Bateman for a Raven touchdown. Rashad Bateman, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Ravens are within an extra point of tying up this ball game. To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete. So why go for that there? First half, you could have tied the game at 7. Why try to get the lead?
Feels like an analytics call, doesn't it? That's starting to really get into the game where they're studying where you can make extra points and the whole deal and get an advantage. But I don't know that we have enough data yet to really say this is the right play or the wrong play. Maybe in 2 or 3 more NFL seasons.
Could change.
Exactly. 2 or 3 more NFL seasons, I think we'll have a much better study and much better case of what we're going to do.
The Bengals drive about to get going. Early on, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game, but I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Here we go, here we go.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line.
11.
Burrow will throw. And the catch made. It's Tyler Boyd. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. On 1st and 10, Joe Burrow. This goes out wide for Mixon. And they'll work this down inside the 30.
Well, it certainly doesn't matter if it's been through the air like on this play or on the ground. I don't know what's going on with this defense. In a sense, they've been AWOL on this drive so far. 3 plays, 3 first downs given up. They've got to find answers, and they've got to find them quick.
Getting in there for the tackle, Marcus Williams.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. He completes it to Boyd. And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And he gets this down to the 18. Good enough for a first down. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. Back to Mixon on first down. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 50 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the Ravens' 12-yard line.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. 4 yards remain for second down. They'll stay on the ground, mix it again. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Joe Mixon with his second touchdown of the game, 4th of the year, as his guys are able to extend their lead. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the lead is up to 8.
14, Ravens 6.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone. And looking for Andrews, but this is intercepted. Daxton Hill picks it off. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 for a Bengals TD. But Charles, you can just see the frustration on the sideline. Safe to say that's not how they expected this series to go. The ball only went one way, and it was backward into their own end zone, courtesy of the pick 6.
And, Brandon, how often do we hear offenses tell us before a game they want to end every series with a kick, right? A punt, a PAT, or a field goal. In case of a defense, they want to end with a punt or a takeaway. And we saw the takeaway right there, and it turned out to be a takeaway that turned into 6 points.
Offense set at the line for this next drive. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick 6, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
And sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick 6 and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to attack.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Now it's Jackson. That's complete to his receiver, Bateman. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. 15 yards there on the play as they try to chip away at this 15-point deficit.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
And they're going to get this up to midfield. From midfield now, here's Jackson. Airing one out for Crowder. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Mike Hilton. And the Bengals are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. A nightmare of a first half for him. That's now 3 interceptions. But, Charles, with his talent, if anyone can shake this off and right the ship, it's him.
I agree, because you don't get to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league without developing some major mental toughness. So I expect him to go in the locker room at halftime, hit the reset button, and come out a new guy in half number 2.
And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Burrow looking to pass. Oh, he'll let one go deep for Higgins. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off by Eli Apple. And the Ravens are going to take over once again at their own 25-yard line. So really the first speed bump that this offense has encountered, they had the rule of the roost here in this first half, but now slowed up just a bit by the interception.
And there's a chance that that's a wake-up call for them because you don't want to go on autopilot too early. That team on defense is capable of making some plays similar to the one they made right there.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
But no kneeling for them. They decided they weren't going to run out the clock. They decided to take their shot downfield, hoping to either make a connection or a pass interference call. They wanted more points to put on the board.
Jackson's throw is on target to Duvernay. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. Catch number 100 for his career right there, and it's good enough to keep the chains moving. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's Jackson. Escaping the pressure right. And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. A loss of 4 that time on the sack, and it brings up second. Another try after the first down sack. Jackson. Pass on the crossing route is complete. This is Andrews. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They were starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise, and start to put together some drives.
2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Play action. Now Jackson. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. And they say officially it's a 68-yard attempt. And now the half not quite over yet. This is a live football on the miss. So we have reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Bengals out in front. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Ravens set to receive the football, trailing here as we resume action in the 3rd quarter. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Baltimore offense at the line set to get going. And right out of the gate, they face what you'd think could be a pretty important drive.
I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world. It wasn't the strongest of first halves, but for them to start clawing back, they've got to start putting a little pressure on that defense, start cutting into this deficit. You can't have 3 and outs and expect to get that done.
Play action. It's Jackson. He's got a man. It's his fullback. Finding room at midfield. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
And I like where this offense is going. I like what they're thinking because they want to spread the wealth, move the ball around, and they decide to get the fullback involved in these pass patterns as well. Normally, 2-yard hitch or a little flare out of the backfield, but this time they sent him downfield. He's able to make a big play.
Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
They go play action now. Jackson. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
I'm sure it was a tough halftime trying to figure out some strategy to get things going. Trailing by a lot when they went into the locker room. He's just trying every avenue to spark his team here to begin the third quarter. Not a lot going on that play, though.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Here's Jackson to throw. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up fourth down. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
And this will be broken up and incomplete. Now a penalty flag down, and they may be going backward here. Well, they got the ball already. They're not going to risk the yardage and running another fourth down. They decline it.
And what was that they taught you in law school, that possession is 9/10 of the law?
I didn't go to law school.
Oh, you didn't? I thought you did. Well, I'm going to give that to you anyway. Possession is 9/10 of the law, and it's 9/10 of this game, too. Having the football counts.
You're so litigious. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. Some extra space following the display of power. Down just inside the 45. The 71 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon. The last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4. Burrow going to get this out to Chase. And they're going to get this down to about the 37. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Mixing up the middle. Running right through. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Joe Mixon, a 13-yard touchdown run. And the Bengals have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the lead opens up now to 22 points. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Jackson. And this is going to be hauled in by the tight end, Andrews. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That goes for a gain of 31. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Meanwhile, Jackson's throw taken in there by Crowder. And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. Add the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They go play action with Jackson. Dancing to his left. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, They're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
That's an excellent play by the defender. He diagnosed that one, closed quickly, and helped force the incompletion.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. From the gun, Jackson. Oh, looking for Andrews downfield. And that will be incomplete. Oh, he left that one in a bad spot, but fortunately it's just an incompletion and not picked to bring up 4th down.
And where they are on the scoreboard almost dictates taking this big shot and trying to get right back into the game. They took it there and couldn't connect. Despite the defense being ready, go ahead and force it downfield. See what you can get.
Now on 4th down, they throw the deep ball, but it winds up to be incomplete. John Harbaugh not afraid to go for it this time. Doesn't work out. And the Bengals will get the football back. The Bengals drive about to get going. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. That one goes for 24 yards.
This is just more of the same. This defense has had no answer on a lot of these throws. They've let these receivers run wild. And here's another completion for good yardage.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second-half blowout material. Meanwhile, Burrow's throw taken in here by Chase. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. Final minute now of the 3rd quarter. They go play action with Burrow. Dumps it off to Mixon. And he'll be brought down at the 27.
To Joe Mixon. It's a gain of 10. 1st down,
And they go play action now. Burrow. He finds his tight end, Goddard. That's complete. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he'll throw this one away. I don't think he's out of the pocket. No, here comes the flag. Yeah, he hadn't gotten far enough away from the pocket to throw that football away, and that draws the flag.
Yeah, the old tackle box, right? Get outside of each tackle, and then you can go ahead and throw it away, and you're in good shape. But if you're back there in the pocket, you got to make sure of what you're doing.
And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the next step in utilizing this position is to actually utilize more of a scat back in this spot, because we saw the catch there, right? He made it. He's a bigger, stronger guy, maybe not quite as elusive as maybe someone else you would put there.
Yeah, didn't get the big yardage there you might out of a smaller back. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. Well, they're up comfortably here, Charles, but that lead certainly not dissuading them from pressing the envelope late. I mean, if anything, with these passes, it's like they're getting more aggressive to try to drive the ball downfield.
And that will certainly lend itself to some post-game questions for that coach. And maybe you and I should attend that press conference, see what he has to say, because someone's going to ask him why he continued to push it. My guess, he didn't like how some of the snaps were run earlier, and he wanted to use that as a chance to clean things up. But he certainly will have some explaining to do.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the 4th quarter This would be their third straight defeat. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. Now it's Jackson. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Airing one out for Crowder. Ball had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
Here we go. It's Jackson on 4th down. Open man is Duvernay. And he is going to have a Ravens first down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the drive alive. And Jackson throwing once more. And he'll be hit as he releases it. And that'll fall incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Jackson from the shotgun. It's caught inside the 25. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Man open, here is Crowder. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Montgomery will take this into the end zone. It's a Ravens touchdown. Well, they move the ball down the field through the air, Charles, and then finally they get the running game involved, and it works to perfection. Touchdown.
And, partner, I kept waiting for that running game to come into play and actually saved it until the very end. Touchdown goes on his stat sheet, but you and I both know, and he knows as well, his teammates airing it out made this a success.
And this is going to be intercepted.
It's interesting that when it comes to two-point conversions, even heavy run teams tend to throw the ball in these situations. In this case, this one was intercepted.
Yeah, they weren't fooled. They were ready for the pass, picked it off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
1-1, ready?
The Bengals drive about to get going.
It's been a dominant performance to this point, Charles, and this is probably exactly how they scripted this and envisioned it. They got a 3-score lead, 4th quarter, and a chance, if they won, to continue to pour it on here.
It is their call, isn't it? I mean, the way that they have taken on this game and the way that they have carried this game and have dominated this game, you're exactly right. Do what you want down the stretch. We are in the era of, hey, if you don't want us to do this to you, then you need to stop us. Their call to finish this one off.
95 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
They try to eat some clock with Mixon. Now 3rd down is looming. A pickup of 2 on 1st down and just 1 yard there. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. And he's got his man. It's the tight end Goddard. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 40. Nice third down conversion and even 20 yards. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports.
Here we go. 11 Thomas. 11 MT. Tank. 11 MT.
Burrow going to fake to Mixon and now look to throw.
He'll find his running back, Joe Mixon.
And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space. It turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
He'll take a shot for the end zone. And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. T. Higgins. 33 yards. And the Bengals look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this fourth quarter. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that will bump the lead up to 26.
Ravens 12. Kevin McPherson to kick off for Cincinnati.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away.
And he will not bring it out. He'll just go down to a knee here for a touchback. And the ball will come out to the 25. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
There he goes, right side, the 20. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. They blitzed defensively there, but he was able to slip through that first layer, and then he was gone.
I think they won the leverage game, didn't they?
Yes.
Right? They saw the blitz coming. That got to him a little bit, but they leveraged it perfectly and found not just a crease, a gigantic hole. And off he goes, and he's still going all the way to the end zone.
They're going to try and run. And he gets halfway there down to the 1 yard line. So it would no doubt be a miracle comeback from here, but let's see what they can do starting with the onside kick. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And this is going to be snuffed out. The Bengals recover. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Gun. Shot. 11.
That one looks like he'll throw here.
This goes out wide from Mixon. And they'll work this down inside the 30.
Here we go. 12.
A gain of 12. First down, Cincinnati.
Play action. It's Burrow.
He will find his man Chase complete.
And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last two plays. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on first and goal. Burrow will throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
They'll go again here from the 10-yard line on 2nd and goal. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. That's to Chase. He's got it. Touchdown, Cincinnati. 10 yards on the touchdown pass as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further.
So it goes from a 3-score to a 4-score lead here in the closing moments of the 4th quarter. And whether they got that bonus touchdown or not, it's been a pretty impressive performance.
And they did it with not much time left. But they took what little time was on the clock and used it well, didn't they? Put a real exclamation point on their win with that score.
Kevin McPherson to kick off for Cincinnati.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away.
It's a short kick taken out beyond the 20.
Kevin Duvernay on the return. The Ravens take over 1st and 10.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game. So after it's over, you're going to go to the film, find out where the game was really lost. But this is not a situation now where you're going to make up for anything.
We'll see what they do.
It's another one. We got another one. It's her. Who that? Big baby slide through in that drop top. Something by Benz looking cute. That's honest. Her and her friends, big blinks and snatch waist. Yeah, she brought the. Ain't no way somebody daddy ain't gonna give her the spins with her ends. Cause yeah, she did it. She did it again. A few more tracks and this time she bought friends. Big baby on her way up and showed the stairs to a man's. Now salute the general. TGLX got plans. Yeah. Damn, it's the intro? Yes, it's the intro. Damn, this is the intro? Yes, it's the intro.
They don't know what they in for. If it coming like this on the intro, what they here for? If they want the heat, you know who to send for your info. Buy my money like Venmo. If this music don't work out, and all to get it from my ends low. How you feel though? Cause hey, they can't rock with us. Galaxy ain't no stopping this. They ain't trying to steal my style. I'm feeling like I just shot for. Can't trust them cause they not my. Cause we worried about getting figures. All my ain't father figures, just know my quick to pop it.
Damn, it's the intro? Yes, it's the intro. Damn, this is the intro? Yes, it's the intro. Damn, it's the intro? Yes, it's the intro. Damn, this is the intro? Yes, it's the intro.
I come alive in the dark, and I keep getting stronger. My limit's the sky. I do the impossible, impossible. Shine if I want to. I win every time if I want to. The world mine if I want to. Make the world mine cause I want to. I pull the sword out the border, walk a floor full of cobras, go to war with you.